Hey guys, in this video we are going to be learning another solving equation methods, namely the completing the square method. When we complete the square of quadratic equations, we're usually given equations written in the form x squared plus bx equals c. And so that's what we have here. And the whole point of completing a square is to be able to get a perfect square trinomial on this left-hand side of the equation. So to do that, let's focus strictly there. So I'll draw a border. I'm going to take my b value. For us, that is 4, so I'll write it to the side. B equals 4. The first thing that I'm going to do is divide that by 2, so take half of it. So 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. And then to finally complete the square, I'm going to square that 2. So that was the first thing that I did. The second thing that I'm going to do is square my 2. So 2 squared becomes 4. This is the number that it's going to take to complete the square. So let's rewrite our equation by accounting for that number. We have x squared plus 4x. And we just figured out that I need to add 4 to help me complete my square to get my perfect square trinomial. But we know that you can't just add 4 on the left in math. You have to do it on the right side as well. So if I add 4 on the left, I'm going to have to add 4 on the right. So that's going to be equal to 5 plus this 4. All right. Now, looking at the left-hand side, we know we have a perfect square trinomial because we have two numbers that are going to multiply to get 4, but add to get 4, 2 and 2. So let's rewrite that as a factored perfect square trinomial, x plus 2, x plus 2. If I move too fast on that example, please go back to the previous video on how to factor those perfect square trinomials. All right, so we have x plus 2 times x plus 2 is equal to 5 plus 4 gives me 9. All right, we know x plus 2 is technically x plus 2 squared, and it's equal to 9. All right, and now we'll use our square roots method to get the solution. So take the square root of both sides. On the left-hand side, we're left with x plus 2. You take the square root of 9, you get an option of positive 3. Or if you take the square root of 9, you get an option of negative 3. So we have those two equations to solve. To get my first solution, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I obtain a solution of x equals 1. Or to get my second solution, I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides to obtain a solution of negative 5. All right, let's try another example. This time we're given a quadratic equation that's not quite set up. And namely what I mean is that we want it to be x squared plus bx plus c, but for us, our c is not where it's supposed to be. So we are going to have to manipulate this equation before we get started to be the equation x squared minus 6x is equal to positive 16, because I need that c on the other side. Now that we have it rewritten as we want, let's go ahead and identify the number that we're going to have to add to complete our square. And we do that by focusing on this b value here. So for us, b is negative 6. The first thing that I want to do is take negative 6 and divide it by 2, which gives me negative 3. And the second thing that I want to do is technically do negative 3 squared, which should give you a 9. You should always be adding in positive numbers when you are completing the square. All right, so we're going to rewrite this with our added number. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 16 plus 9, because I have to do it on both sides of the equal sign. Looking at the left-hand side, we notice that that is a perfect square trinomial. Two numbers that multiply to get positive 9, but add to get negative 6 are negative 3 and negative 3. So I got x minus 3, and x minus 3 is equal to 16 and 9 should give us 25. Rewriting this is x minus 3 squared is equal to 25. And then now I am ready to use my square roots method. So I'm going to square root to get x minus 3 equals positive 5 is one of my solution options. The square root of 25 can give you 5. Or I get x minus 3 equals negative 5. Isolating x on my first equation will give me an option or a solution of positive 8. Isolating x in my second equation will give me an option of x can be negative 2. So there are my two solution options.